Hey guys, welcome back to Chaos Core Tech. My name's Garrett, and today we are gonna hopefully fix this mess of a marble kit that we left off last time.
Also, a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
So, I had a bunch of support pieces that I could not print in time because the way that I wanted to print them did not work. So we used books and stuff. If you want to see that video, click the eye up in the corner. So I kind of revised that. Still didn't work great. But like I said in the last video, these pieces are not the final pieces. I just need to kind of test them, so they're kind of like scaffolding, if you will. But anyway, let's try to put the scaffolding on here, and hopefully these will work better so we're not relying on tape and books to keep this thing together. We're figuring this out, Dylan. It's almost like I'm the one who made it or something.
I was gonna say, dude, you're on your own. It's like the guy who made it should have put numbers on them or something.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, sounds smooth.
Okay. This did not go well. These things were not strong, but this is enough that I can prove my concept here. Let's give good start. There we go. Oh, there's no funnel. Okay, but
Okay, well, as you can see, that didn't go the greatest. There's lots of reasons for it, but first, I just want to apologize. I do have a bit of a cold, so if I'm like breathing heavy or sound weird, it's because my nose isn't functioning properly right this second. But the 3D printing must go on. So, one, back to the track, I always get comments saying that you want to see my failures, and boy, recently I have had you covered. So instead of showing the actual track right this second, because it's kind of a mess, I'm going to show you guys in Blender what my idea was. Then I'm going to cut to the track we have printed to prove points. But, so this was my idea that you saw up there. So this is the normal track. And then if I activate the stands, these stands, you can see that I have all these different like pieces built in, and these like scaffolding things are just so they would print, because I was having a hell of a time printing these things. And one of the things I tend to do a lot is I try to simplify and focus on one problem at a time, because I'm a programmer, and that's kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis. Is like, if there's a big problem, you simplify it and take it a chunk at a time, and you test like pretty much every step of the way. And so that's what I'm trying to do here, but it's a little bit harder when you have to like print everything and everything needs to go together. There's a lot of pieces in this build that kind of depend on each other. So this scaffolding, like I always say, this is not going to be a part of the final piece. I really just needed something to hold this thing up so I could test it before I go through the hours and hours and hours of modeling the rest of it, only to find out that it's not going to work in the end. But as you guys saw, this has a ton of its own problems, and I'll just hide the stands so it's easier to see what's going on. So the stands were just a little too brittle, and that was a mixture of print settings and the filament that we used. And they kept breaking, and that was also me just designing them not well, in an attempt to not use a ton of filament and take a ton of time, because it took like a week and a half to print all those things. So, well, if I've got some excuses, I might as well use them, right? This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes covering all sorts of different skills. There's a premium membership that gives you full access to the classes. So if you're trying to pick up a new creative skill, Skillshare can help you with all of the skills you want to learn. It's a great place to fuel your creativity and point you in the right direction. For example, I've been looking to get better at game design lately, and there are a ton of Skillshare classes that tackle subjects along those lines. I've really been enjoying creating my own characters lately, so following that, I started a course by Jazza called Character Design from First Idea to Final Illustration, and I've really been having fun with it. Also, I know a lot of people with 3D printers want to learn how to 3D model, and there's a plethora of 3D modeling courses for a wide variety of programs like Blender, Maya, ZBrush, and even a bunch of CAD programs. So whether you're trying to learn something new or improve your knowledge on an existing skill, Skillshare is an extremely useful tool. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning that there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can explore your creativity. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. So we've pretty much proved that the track itself works. And I kind of knew that it would. The biggest question I had is whether or not the, one, I didn't know if it'd be able to get over this hump here. It does not seem to have a problem doing that, with the velocity that it's coming off of this. The other question I had is some of these turns, like right about here, if it would, or over here maybe, and this one, if it would kind of, if the marbles would be going too fast and end up rolling off the track, which also, it has happened, but doesn't happen a lot, so I might just try to like raise those edges a little bit to keep the marbles on the track. Also, I hadn't gotten the funnel printed yet. I do have it now, but when I was filming that part that you just saw, I did not have it. And this whole thing is just, it's a little too brittle to work with right now. So ultimately what I'm going to do, and I ran out of time for this video, so it'll be in next video, is I'm just going to glue all of it, because the stands serve their function. They work really good, but the pieces that broke, make it non-functional basically at this point. So there's a few pieces that are just kind of barely hanging on, and they fall apart whenever I try to do anything. So I'm just going to go in and glue the pieces that broke and glue the track pieces together, so that way I can fully test things out. In one of the previous videos in this marble series, I test printed some of these elevator pieces, and we kind of tried that out, but I didn't do a great job, and I didn't make the walls extrude far enough to actually cover this up and carry the marbles up. So couldn't really test that. So I wanted to fix that this time, and I made some modifications. As you can see here, I broke this up into 4 pieces, which I think it was before, but they're bigger now, so the marbles would stay between. And then I have this little hand gear thing that I was just gonna use to insert in there, turn this manually without hooking up the electronics just yet. so I could test that the elevator does work. And I did have success in this. I got it all put together, and I will put it on screen here so you guys can see what I'm working with. But it ultimately just does not work as well as I wanted it to. One, the links are kind of brittle, and there's not enough sort of keeping the links on track. And if there's a motor turning this and one of the links kind of shifts off to the side a little bit, it'll just keep trying to turn, and I think it'll just snap some of the links, and we don't want that. And also there's a little bit too much wiggle in the chain itself, so this thing can kind of slide, you know, left and right as it goes around, and that basically is allowing the marble, like this will get pushed clear to the side, and then the marble will just fall, and so it doesn't actually keep the marbles on hardly any of the time, actually. So with this whole design, I think I need to go back to the drawing board a bit, and I don't know exactly what that's going to be. So if you guys have suggestions, I've tried a spiral elevator in the past, so that is an option, although it wasn't my favorite. I might just try several and print them and just give them a shot, because I don't really have anything to lose. So yeah, moral of the story: this didn't turn out as good as I was hoping. And I even was starting to design the part where it'd pick up the marble, which I still think that might do all right. I have a little slot in the bottom to hopefully catch it without, you know, getting caught, but I'm sure it would still get caught. And then I was starting to design where it would fall out as well, but we know how that is going to go. And unfortunately, that's all the farther I got. So I do apologize that this video wasn't very substantive in terms of new additions to this. So that's what I hope to have in the next video. I'm going to wrap it up there because it is Christmas Eve, and I've still got to wrap some presents. So I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I promise there will be more interesting stuff coming. Let me know what you think down in the comments if you have any suggestions for what I can do on the elevator. And thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, keep creating.